Indian health care, it's become bad and it's deteriorating day by day. So if you see, there is a lot of health issues. Though we as a country has become food sufficient, we are nutrition deficient. And food what we're growing is more become industrial and chemical, and that is harming human beings. And that is something where I started realizing that why not try and bring the old ways and old methods of growing genuinely good food which can act as a medicine. And that's when I said, let me try and see if I can bring back the older energies and bring food which is healthy. Hi, my name is Aniish and I am the owner founder of Earth Harvest. We are a farm to table company based out of Bombay, and I also run a farm consulting division called Earth Harvest Consulting, where we design, build, train and transfer, and we generate food forest or food growing patches for customers. Let me try and tell you my story through my tattoo. That makes it much easier. So this was my urban life, which is more chaotic and much more of struggle, and eventually I moved from my urban life to farming, where you can see I've started farming, and then there are trees where I plan to grow my forest and my trees. And then in life, certainly you eventually settle down in a very, very peaceful manner. So this is a matured tree which is much more subtle, and I use biodynamic principles of moon. That's why I've also portrayed moon, and then there's a nirvana sign here. So end of the day, life you need to relax and attain your nirvana, and my nirvana is in nature. So that's where I portrayed my life cycle through this tattoo. So my corporate journey started when I was studying. I started taking up my first job in 1997. I was an undergraduate and I took up a job in a publication called Gujarat Samachar. I think my salary was only 7,500, but it was fun. I was enjoying it. Post that I got graduated and then moved to a company called Business Standard. It's a financial daily, and from Business Standard I moved to the Times of India, Bennett Coleman and Company. From there I moved to Future Group. I moved to Infomedia, which was a magazine. It's a trade magazine. And then I moved to Future Group, and from Future Group, from 7,500 to 10,000, and then eventually 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs and 30 lakhs, and eventually last I was working for CNBC in 2013, where I was at 36 lakhs. So this has been my transition, and I've worked for almost 16 years in corporate. When I took a decision to quit, it was in 2016. My story began somewhere in 2013 when I was in Bangalore, and I started growing my own food on my terrace. It was just a hobby when I started, but eventually it turned out to be something which I started feeling a calling. There were 2-3 prime reasons why I thought I should be doing this. One, I came across certain statistics of food. Indian health care, it's become bad and it's deteriorating day by day. So if you see, there is a lot of health issues. Though we as a country has become food sufficient, we are nutrition deficient. And food what we're growing is more become industrial and chemical, and that is harming human beings. This data which I came across in 2013 is what was alarming, and especially like girl child puberty going down, male sperm counts are going down, PCOD, thyroid going extremely high in human beings. India has become the biggest capital of diabetic. So what has happened is that we're eating food, but our food is not acting as a medicine. And that is something where I started realizing that why not try and bring the old ways and old methods of growing genuinely good food which can act as a medicine. So which we always heard listening, we grew up listening that food be a medicine, but nobody's using food as a medicine. We're using food as a pleasure, which is like 2 inches of pleasure of your tongue, and then we quickly eat. So, and we use a lot of medicine to take care of ourselves. That's when my story began. Eventually I quit in 2016. And from that terrace, the story began, where I started growing, and I went to my first guru, Dr. Narayan Reddy in Bangalore, in Dodballapur. He's no more. He was 82 when I went to him. Obviously, he did not allow me because he was not training any urban guys. But then I kept pursuing him, and eventually he said, "Theek hai." I stayed with him in his own house, learned the basics of organic farming. And that fascinated me so much that I said, I really need to do this bigger. And I'm a landless farmer. I don't own a single piece of land, but I still started working in other farms. And I traveled across, I went to people and tried working. And that's how the story began. 2016 is when I took a call that I quit and I give 100% to this. And I moved back to Bombay from Bangalore. I realized that the pleasure of growing and seeing a seed grow into a plant, and plant giving food, and the food being a nutrition, and that is helping you. So it is not only it is not only therapeutic, but it also is naturally healing you. We all are existing, And I always quote this, and this is my favorite quote, 99% people exist, only few people live. And that's when I decided, let me start living rather than existing, and let me not just I've come to this world to not to just pollute and populate, but to give back something. And that was my calling. So I'm a little spiritual person and also believe in energies, and that's when I said, let me try and see if I can bring back the older energies and bring food which is healthy. And that was a transition period from 13 to 16. While working in corporate, I was still doing my farming. I used to run on weekends. I used to go travel to, nearby farms on weekends, take a leave on Friday or Monday and extend my work hours. And I used to learn. And this was gratis. It was not paid also. I was a free labor for everybody. But that was learning, and that was a time I think things changed for me, which made my foundation that in 2016 I realized that I should pursue this as my career, and took a leap of faith. So I leased out a land in outskirts of Bombay near Shahpur. This was close to 12 to 13 acres. I did spend my own hard-earned savings, and I started working on building a pond, making the land, leveling the land, getting farmer laborers and all. Did a lot of things. For 6 months I did continue, and but then I realized that the cost of production had gone way beyond my budget. And as a commerce and an MBA guy, I realized that if I'm not matching my costs, and if I don't see that break even in next few months or years, it won't make business sense. And that was the time I took a call that I would not grow. I exited that project, though I lost almost 8 to 10 lakh rupees. I would not say loss, but I would say that's the cost of learning. I did learn a lot of things, and hands-on the farm. I started meeting farmers, learning organic and bringing back the produce to Bombay and selling it. So that was a transition, and that is something which excited me, because what I was doing is, beyond money, I was also getting a lot of well wishes and बोलते हिंदी में दुआ, तो लोगों को अच्छा लगता था. I have realized, I have seen families or elderly 60 years, 70 years, जो बोलते थे हमने बीटरूट बहुत सालों बाद खाया जो इतना मीठा है, पालक का जो स्वाद है, मूली का जो स्वाद है. तो सिटी लाइफ में क्या होता है कि पीपल आर एग्जिस्टिंग, एंड एज आई सेड, हम सारा खाना बनाते, मसाला डाल के खाना खा लेते, 2 इंच ऑफ प्लेजर जो टंग का है, बट पेट के अंदर जो होता है तकलीफ है. तो ये क्वेश्चन था, और ये मज़ा आ रहा था, ये मुझे लग रहा था कि ये सही कर रहा हूँ. एंड दो स्ट्रगल था, पैसा नहीं था, एज इन फर्स्ट 3 years 4 years आई रियली स्ट्रगल्ड, बट आई ऑल्सो वाइल स्ट्रगलिंग आई लर्नड थिंग्स. सो आई वेंट टू another course. I did a permaculture course. I have been trained under permaculture principles. I traveled to other cities of India, and then I also did something called biodynamic farming. So biodynamic farming is nakshatra based farming. So जो अपने ancestors used to do, moon sign देख के, और ये सारा energy based है. इसमें there is a lot of energy, and that fit with my principle that I am trying to harness energies of nature and grow food. और ये food is much more nutrition and value. 2017, 2018 was a struggle period because they were not real source of income, and I come from a commerce background, and I'm also by birth a Gujarati. So business is there in our blood. So somewhere I realized that if I don't sustain, then no passion can continue for a longer time. So I have to sustain, and for sustenance I had to do retailing. So how do I do retailing is when I started my brand called Earth Harvest. Reaction that my parents and my family gave me is that, are you mad? Because number of us, obviously, born and brought up in Bombay. We though ancestrally come as a agriculture family, but my grandfather had come to Bombay settled. My father is born and brought up in Bombay. But दूर दूर तक farm का तो कुछ connection था नहीं. तो पहले तो they were shocked. And अच्छी इतनी, I was heading CNBC in digital marketing. So why to leave that? So they were obviously shocked, and they were like keen, क्यों करना है, क्या करना है, पैसे कहाँ हैं? क्योंकि एक्सपोजर नहीं है, nobody knows that. But something within me said, नहीं, I can make it big. और मेरा एक नेचर ऐसा है कि मैं एक बार सोच लेता हूँ करना है तो करना है, no matter whatever. And I kept giving myself some time. So first I had given myself 6 months का window. बहुत बार हुआ कि after leaving corporate, आपका monthly salaries बंद होता है. So you start feeling, अरे, the pinch is there and you are. And I had a saving of 10-15 lakh rupees, out of which almost 8 to 9 lakh rupees I had spent in doing that farm, which I had to give up. Something within me kept extending. 6 महीने दिए खुद को, फिर और 6 महीने दिए, और मैंने बहुत कुछ सीखा. So that transition and that persistence कि इसमें करना ही है, it took me 3 years. वो 6 महीने करते करते 3 साल 2017-18 में actually मेरी brand register हुई. Today, as we speak today, we are in 2026. I have close to 1400 customers, and we supply not only fresh vegetables, we do fruits, dry fruits, we do pulses, oil, ghee. But again, these are not mass-based. These are again we get it from select farmers who do small batches, who do quality produce. I'll give you an example of turmeric. अगर turmeric है तो 20-30 किलो का turmeric किसने बनाया है, जिस बेस्ट क्वालिटी जब तक है तब तक है, उसके बाद में हमारा स्टॉक खत्म हो जाता है. I grow and I love growing. Again, till date I am a landless farmer, but I have started something consulting. Since beginning I used to consult. Earlier I used to consult for free. Today I have my own consulting team. I have a division for Earth Harvest Consulting and we design farms. We're sitting in a farm in Mulchi, which is near Pune, and this belongs to Archana and Anil Bagri. They live in Bombay, but I have been working on this farm for a real long time. The biggest challenge when you have to start working on a land is you need to have your own team. And the local laborers need to respect you. They can only respect you with two things. One, your knowledge, and second, your language skills. So I lived in Bombay, I know Marathi very well. I lived in Bangalore, I can understand Kannada very well. I am a Gujarati by birth, so I can understand Gujarati. And it is very important where you work in whichever farm, you need to connect with labor. So that is very important. So one is language skills. Second, I don't talk a sales pitch. As in I don't say, आप ये करो, आपको ये मिलेगा. I say we will work together, and I always work with customers who really want to work on land. They spend time with me. I come to the farm, I spend time with them, explain them. I tell them to get involved in each and every activity. Or when you start getting your hands in mud, that is the time you realize that how difficult it is or how different it is to do it. So I think ये evolve हो रहा है. The next generation is more keen to know what is growing, how it is growing, source of food कहाँ से आ रहा है, and that is good for us so that we can try and explain them. So I think things are moving. As in today, I manage more than 6 projects in a month, and from maybe 10 acres to 50 acres is the range of land which we're doing. There's some international projects also which I have in Africa which might be coming through. So that will be 100-400 acres. So which is again a bigger project, but then that is the base which I created so many years back is helped me. I think customers also like that I get on the land, I work myself 8 hours to 10 hours on the land, I work with laborers and I ensure that it's done. So it's my lead by example is where my skills have helped me, and I enjoy working. As in it's been almost, as I said, 10 years. I don't remember any Saturday, Sunday or कभी public holiday में छुट्टी लिया है. मेरा 24 hours चलते रहता है, and I am happy about this. When I started, I was not earning so much. Today we do around 1.5 crore, 1.25 crore kind of a turnover annually, which comprises of both, which is also the retailing and the consulting division. So it sounds good, but end of the day, it's also a top line business. It's not like, you earning net profit, but it's pleasure. And today, as I said, I'm not chasing numbers. I am enjoying what I'm doing and numbers are coming. So the well wishes or dua jo bolte is what I get, and I am most happy. I am creating assets for others, and also I'm letting legacy. So, which is very important. I always believe that, every generation leaves certain legacy. There were legacies left by people who were religion, and then there came forts and temples, and now what I'm doing is letting trees. So on a joking side, a lot of people ask me, do you have kids? And I said, yes, I have 2,500 kids. तो मैंने उतने ट्रेज लगाए और ये ग्रो हो रहे हैं. तो आज वो 5-6 साल के हो गए और दे आर ऑलमोस्ट थ्री टाइम्स ऑफ माई हाइट, 15-16 फीट हो गए, एंड वो 100 साल तक जिएंगे, हम तो नहीं जिएंगे. So yes, so money wise, yes, money is there. I am earning money and I am enjoying it. And I wisely also ensured, and as I said, I was a commerce guy and MBA, so I also ensured that my finances are taken care. It is difficult to take a leap of faith and work until your finances are taken care. So since 25 years back, my father had got me a Demat account, or maybe trading. Demat eventually happened. But खून में है थोड़ा इन्वेस्ट करना, 1 रुपया तो 1 रुपया, बट कुछ तो करते थे, और तभी से डाइवर्सिफाई करके रखा. बीच में कम हो गया था, बट अभी now I have started moving, and I also currently I hold a portfolio of almost 1 crore, where if I divide that, 45 is in equity, 45 odd is in mutual funds, 5 odd lakhs in ETF, gold and silver, and then I also have provident fund. So PF, which I continued, and PPF, sorry, to that extent. And that is still going strong, and I keep investing because that was a habit my father had given me, and I am still doing it. Close to 60 to 70 odd lakhs. I have another property, real estate property, which is about 70 to 90 lakhs. So in all, if you say my kind of asset value would be 2.5 CR, and which is mix of all this instruments which I do. Since last 2 years, I made it a habit that annually at least 8 to 10 lakh rupees goes. It is not systematic because I don't earn regular income, but I do lump sum and I do invest in mutual funds because I'm not active into trading. Today with current market scenario, which is completely wonky, mutual fund I think is the best, and I think it's taking care, and I am looking at it with long-term vision, so I think I am safe that way. So there are times when I start thinking back that why did I quit my corporate, and it was also for the passion. Though when you, passion cannot fill your stomach. And from day one, when I even picked up the land and started farming in Bombay, in the outskirts of Bombay, I was sure that if at all I'm spending money, I need to recover that in time. And any business I do. Today I'm comfortable. I don't own large properties, large bank balances, large cars, but I'm comfortable, and that's very important. So when you get out of your corporate life and follow your passion, but ensure that your passion needs to feed your basic necessities. Else you will not be happy anywhere. घर का ना घाट का जो बोलते वैसा हो जाएगा. तो इसके लिए sustenance is important, and money has become incidental. Corporate mein, used to chase money, designation, position, there was a rat race. Ab aisa ho gaya, money has become incidental. Money is coming, and I select the projects which I want to do rather than I have to do it. So I am comfortable and I am happy with whatever I'm earning, and by God's grace, money has never been an issue. So I'm a very lucky person that way. Nothing is in your control. So when things go beyond your control, you have to keep quiet, sit tight, and wait for the right time. That patience and that grounding is very important in human, and that again reflects in my tattoo, because you see the tree is an old tree which is settled, which has got a lot of maturity. When a person matures, he calms down, he doesn't become aggressive and fights. So that is kind of nature, and that is evolved in me. My tattoo gives me a lot of my life reflections, and I have not done tattoo just for heck of, because people do tattoos which is their choice, but for me this is my real life, and it is something which is, so that evolution of human being. And as I said, I'm spiritual, so end of the day, what are you going to take back? My challenge is that I leave back, and that is what I'm doing. And I think in 10 years Earth Harvest will be doing a lot of impact work in small towns, small villages, and trying to create this food security business also, because at the end of the day, if we don't grow our food, we will have to import from outside. When I started farming was because of the passion. The passion tha, grow kar rahe, enjoying the whole thing. But ab aisa hai ki, can I impact and I can create value for customers? And that's when I said that, what am I leaving back? The legacy is all about leaving back values and systems and progress for people. I've seen a lot of migration happening from small villages to cities, and farmers or people have started quitting farming because they realize there's better money somewhere else. So the impact work which I want to do is bring back the old farming practices and farming practices back to the farmers or to the laborers, and give them the opportunity to earn equal or better money in the farms rather than coming to cities. So वो impact करना है, and I am in talks with some NGOs where we will, as Earth Harvest, will be doing a lot of grassroots level work, not only with farmers but also their wives. So basically the women's self-help group which we are creating, who would do ancillary products or product processing, and farmers or the male would be farming, and we give them enough income so that they would sustain or they can live better life in villages rather than moving to cities. So I think that impact is something which I want to leave back, and that's where I see Earth Harvest slowly progressing, not only in Maharashtra but across the country.